All right. Well, testing out the Viking here, I discovered that the pattern cam selector isn't working. So we're going to take the back panel off again. Remember that it's got a screw on the back, and then in the head here there's a retaining screw, and then that whole panel just slides sideways to pop off. The straight and zigzag stitch and the buttonhole are all built into this machine, and then I believe they're called Colormatic cams that go into the cam slot on the back here. So I couldn't get the selector knob that's supposed to do cam selection to turn, so I twisted it and tried to see if I could get it to work. I was just randomly twisting all the knobs on the front because there's the stitch length, stitch width, and then the cam selector. I also checked to see if that would loosen up, but that screw in the center of the cam stack didn't want to come out very easily, so this was me just trying to check stuff to see if I could get it to loosen up and start moving. Unfortunately, I didn't make any progress with this. I did end up breaking the knob loose, and then I found out that there was a roll pin in a cross section of it that helps turn an inner dial, and then the outer dial is moved by the mechanism, but I didn't get it to move the way it should. Right now, so I just applied a lot of oil everywhere in the mechanism in the hopes that anything that might be stuck in there would get oiled and loosened a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't know the diagram for this machine, and the one I found online is not a very helpful one, so I'm just going to be on my own trying to see if I can get it. And this is the spot where I tried turning the knob, and I turned it hard enough that I broke the little roll pin that's supposed to turn it. So yeah, I should have been more careful here, but when I opened it up, I did discover the little roll pin was really not in good shape. So yep, tried too hard, cranked too hard. It is important every time you work on this to make sure that you have the needle bar in the right position. You're supposed to rotate the hand wheel until you get the take up and needle as high as they go. So this is when I discovered I broke that little roll pin, and then I popped the cover off to find the screw that actually holds this knob in place. With the roll pin broken, that screw just unscrewed like it was supposed to. So anyhow, I continued oiling this and trying to wiggle it a little bit and get it to go, and it doesn't seem to be moving. So I stopped to look at the service diagrams I have. Again, the service diagram wasn't very helpful, so I'm letting it sit and be oiled, and I'm wondering if, because a lot of folks say that because these Vikings were supposed to be oil-free machines, a lot of the mechanisms have oil-bearing sintered bushings in them, so they've got basically, foamy metal with oil soaked into it. And if the machine doesn't run regularly, then that oil ends up withdrawing into the bushings and not lubricating the machine. So I applied plenty of sewing machine oil to the mechanism, and I'm going to find a replacement for the roll pin, and I'm going to get that knob reinstalled and just see if running the machine again will start to loosen it up and let that knob turn. But unfortunately, I did, while I was trying to loosen it, end up breaking it. And we'll see. With a little bit of time and maybe some exercise, the machine will loosen up and I'll be able to get it to do some of the fancy pattern stitching. But when I was examining it here, I couldn't find an obvious reason why it doesn't want to go. And I didn't find a good diagram online of what might be causing the issue.